So, if I were to ask people, what is the purpose of school? Many would respond with preparing them for a world of work. And we're going to talk about this topic but first of all, let me go ahead and introduce myself and our guest for today. My name is Dr. Jeff Kim, National Board Certified Teacher, and the Ed Family YouTube channel is about helping kids find out what they're good at so that they can do good with it. I have an amazing guest with us today, Anaheim Union High School District's coordinator for 21st Century for Career Readiness, Scott Reindl. Scott Reindl, can you go ahead and give us a little hello?
Yeah, absolutely. Scott Reindl. So as Dr. Kim mentioned, coordinator for 21st Century Career Readiness, also a National Board Certified Teacher. So proud to be in the ranks
Yes,
with you,
another
Dr.
National
Kim.
Board Certified Teacher. And Scott is actually coming from the teacher up and been promoted and now making a huge impact. And that national board experience also a part of that story. So actually, if you could tell us a little bit of your story, especially as it relates to being the coordinator for 21st Century Career Readiness.
Yeah, absolutely. So my role as coordinator for Career Readiness is to support all of our career pathway programs throughout our high schools and junior highs, as well as our mentoring and internship program called AIME, where we get students out to businesses and to internship experiences to get ready for the next step in their lives after high school. And my background, I was an English teacher and an avid teacher with both Ball Junior High and Catella High School here in Anaheim Union High School District, and then with LA Unified before that. But I got into teaching at around age 30 after a little over a decade in the workforce, working my way through college, through various jobs, some that were kind of just the job to get by, but another that was almost going to be my career, working for a small business, a small computer company, doing marketing, sales, purchasing. It was a small business, so you kind of did a little bit of everything. But I was looking for a little more meaning in my career, and wanted to give back. And so I approached English language arts from the perspective of the working world, just knowing that, through my experience, so many people struggled in their jobs because they weren't great at communicating. So they either had trouble presenting to others, they weren't sure how to resolve conflicts, had to ask for a raise, how to sell your ideas. Even if you're not a salesperson, you really need to be entrepreneurial in getting your ideas to be adopted. So that was my approach to English teaching, and even AVID, which is a college prep curriculum, but helping students think about the next steps. And then I found out about CTE and career tech ed, and was selected really to create this position, just because my background in the workforce, and as well as some of the other things I'd been doing as an educator. And I've loved it. I've been in this role for about 7 or 8 years, and just really like the relevance that it can bring to education for students. And just seeing that light bulb go off for students when they figure out what they want to do. And there's nothing like having a job you care about. And that's what I hope for our students.
Definitely you've led our district in so many award-winning programs, yourself being a Teacher of the Year, but also many CSBA's Golden Bell Awards for programs that you facilitate and lead. If I were to ask you about CTE, Career Technical Education, and AUHSD, or our multiple, many pathways that we have for our students that support them from middle to high school, I know you could talk about all these kinds of things. You could probably talk about Google certificates and our partnership with Google and being the first public school to partner with Google. I know you could probably also speak to career preparedness systems framework and capstone work for students to show what they know at a very young age. But today, we're actually here to talk about AIME, another amazing program that you oversee, Anaheim Innovation Mentoring Experience Program. Tell us, what is AIME?
Yeah, so the AIME program was actually started by students. So back in 2013, the city of Anaheim was experiencing some unrest. Actually, some rioting had taken place due to some police-involved shootings that had occurred. And I think a sense of frustration from our students also around the test prep mentality and just school not working for them, and them not feeling like they were included in the conversation about what was going on in our city and beyond. And so they organized and went down to city council and said they want more from education. And I'm over summarizing there, and there's a great video that provides that backstory. But what resulted from that was our former mayor, Tom Tate, and our current superintendent, Michael Matsuda, started a program where students would be mentored by local businesses. So Mayor Tate went out and asked the business community, could you come and provide more to our students? They're looking for more for their future beyond just preparing for tests and not really being prepared for their next steps. Our first partner was Kaiser Permanente, and they launched a series of mentoring events. Gear Up was a partner with us in that as well. So we really, give credit to them, CSUF Gear Up, and their support in getting the program started. But it started with that series of events and grew from there over the years as more and more businesses heard about what we were doing. They wanted to participate, and they see many of them see themselves as partners in education, and they know that our graduates are going to be their workforce. And so we've grown to over 90 business partners. We have a program where businesses can jump in just for a one-time event, so we call that a tier 1 career exploration series, to going to a tier 2 where it's a whole series. Yeah.
Say 90 organizations are partnering with Anaheim Union, like 90.
Right.
Wow. Can you name some of these companies? Are these names that we'd be familiar with?
Yeah, so Kaiser Permanente has been with us from the beginning. Disneyland Resort is a partner. The Anaheim White House Restaurant, OCTA has partnered with us. We have, many small businesses as well have come on board, which are great for students too, to see the entrepreneurial spirit. So companies like Modern Gourmet Foods that has helped us both with mentoring events as well as developing an entrepreneurship program. Many partners. We've done some things with Amazon. I could go on.
Wow.
But yeah,
it's names partnering with our Anaheim Union High School District and our students.
Right.
Amazing.
Yeah, and they love our students. I think it's refreshing for them to see just how skilled our young people are, how creative our young people are, and what they can bring to the table, even at their young age. Yeah.
So Scott, kind of walk me through this. I'm a student in Anaheim Union High School District. I'm like, you know what? I would like some career experience. I have these skills. I'm not sure if this is the exact career I want to go into, but I'm interested. Let's say a student is kind of identifying like that. How does that student become a part of one of our 90 partners?
Yeah, so a couple of ways. So at the high school level, we have work-based learning coordinators. So we have assigned staff members whose role is to publicize these events through either the school announcements or just getting in front of students in their classes. So that's one way. We have our website, AnaheimMentoring.org, where students can look at the student opportunities page to look for those various opportunities and sign up. Those would be our during the school day opportunities. So our mentoring career exploration series, or a one-day mentoring event. Also, I want to make sure our juniors are aware. In January, we release our AIME summer internship application. That's distributed to all students, so all students can apply. It's a very realistic process. We do ask for a resume, and students go through an interview. We want to replicate that process that employers utilize, and we're able to offer that over the summer of students' junior year. In addition, AIME has a couple other programs. The KindSet program is our entrepreneurship program that students can participate in at the high school level. Applications also come out in January for that, as well as our AUHSD Student Film Academy for students interested in filmmaking and media arts.
Tell us one story of a student who had a chance to participate in one of these internships, and then maybe their life was transformed in some kind of way. The person coming to my mind is the person with Hulu, but Scott, do you have someone that comes to your mind? Maybe it's that student, maybe it's a different student.
Yeah, I've had a couple of students who have gone through, and they started actually with the Film Academy program, and they participated in that, which was a summer program, and then it continued throughout the school year. They put together a couple of great films that ended up winning actually the film festival. I think they won 2 years in a row. But as part of that process, they had made a connection with a gentleman named Joe Baldo at Higher Ground, a nonprofit that we work with. And he was so impressed with these students that he sent them to a leadership camp. So it would be, one of those camps where you go up into the mountains, you got the ropes courses, you got all these, things that students go through for bonding and building their leadership skills. And so I ran into the students during their senior year, just this year actually, and they just came up and thanked me for making that connection. But I really credit them, and they're just building those relationships and networking and taking advantage of those opportunities. But what was so interesting was that they didn't just participate in the Film Academy and and this leadership event. They had already participated in several AIME events. So I think where the students have really transformed, have taken advantage of as many opportunities as they can, because it's just as valuable to find a career you're interested in. It's just as valuable to find a career you're not interested in, and to rule things out and to kind of say, okay, that's not the direction I want to go. I want to head this way. And I think the students that we see repeating the various AIME events are the ones that benefit the most, because they start to get, kind of the compass starts to point them in the right direction over time.
I think as we talk about the AIME program, this is something that I think many districts would be interested in. As they consider this, what is our secret sauce to make this happen? Because I know that there's a lot of districts out there that would probably be like, we'd love to have an AIME program, but we just don't know how to get started, or we've tried and it hasn't worked the way that we wanted. How is Anaheim doing this so that we're getting the outcomes that we're seeing today?
Yeah, I think a big part of it is making it easy for the business partners to engage. So my colleague MJ Cook, our AIM program director, early on in the program, had created the tiers that I described earlier, where like a tier one's a career exploration event, tier two is a career mentoring series, tier three is the internship. So having almost a menu for business partners, because if you reach out and you say, well, we want to do some mentoring, but we're not sure exactly what it's going to look like, and it creates a lot of work. And I think that's when you might get the no from a business partner. But when you say, hey, we've got all the resources, we're ready to bring our students, we'll help you set up the agenda, having something that's turnkey, I think is a key part of making it easy for businesses to say yes. And then I think it's the dedication our district has to the program in terms of putting staff in place. So, I'm partially dedicated to the program. We have a couple other staff members that work on it to a greater extent than I do. But putting your money where your mouth is, and providing the staff and the transportation and the various pieces, I think makes a big difference. But for business partnerships, it's making it easy, because they don't have a lot of time to spend on these things, but they love being with the students, but you don't want to bog them down with the details.
Would you say the benefit for the students is beyond just career exploration, that it connects somehow to students finding their purpose, or mental health, social emotional wellness, or grit? Do you see some of these other benefits as well?
Yeah, absolutely. Students, one of the things they're building when they participate in these events is social capital. And if we, think back on our own careers, for a lot of us, we got our jobs through somebody that we know. It wasn't necessarily by just putting a resume out there. So I think building social capital is a huge benefit for our students, and that ability to ask for what you want and to network. But I think on the social emotional side, as I mentioned earlier, there's nothing like having a career that you care about, and having that purpose behind what you're doing day to day has huge social emotional benefits. And so if you can find that right fit, it really is really a proactive way to approach social emotional health, and that's driven by your purpose, right? And hopefully you're able to find that. But to be able to to kind of test the waters, I think is a great thing prior to, say, achieving a 4-year degree and then finding out that you don't want to go down that road. So just tons of benefits beyond just finding that career.
Wow, I just really see a lot of equity in this. And people ask, what is equity? And sometimes it could be translated into access. And you're giving kids access to the working world, not after college, but now. And when people think about the purpose of schools, should we be preparing them for the world of work? Yes, but not later. Right now, they could be working now, and you're providing the opportunities, Scott. Just appreciate you so much in your leadership and giving so many of our students opportunities to grow in this area and also model for us educators what we can do. And I don't know if you're allowed to talk about this, but I'm just going to ask you, and you can feel free not to answer. But I think as teachers, we need to also know what the world of work looks like, because sometimes out of education, it looks a little bit different. I know there's something very, very special you have in the works, top secret maybe, yeah. I don't know, but it's giving teachers the opportunity to kind of think about what work looks like today. Could you touch on that a little bit?
Yeah, absolutely. And definitely not top secret. I definitely want to, publicize, what we have in the works, because we're going to need more partners to help us with it. And we definitely want more teachers to participate. But what we're adding now is an additional tier we're calling Tier 4, the teacher externship, to allow our teachers to get out there into the world of work and see where the skills, both from their own curriculum as well as some of those transferable skills that they're teaching students, how they're applied in the world of work. So the concept is a 2-day experience where we have teachers go out to a business, maybe a company tour, learn about the industry, and then they shadow employees at the workplace there. And then that's followed by a second day where the teachers get together. They can ask questions if they need to, but really it's about thinking about how that experience impacts their curriculum. So how can they take what they learned and embed it into project-based learning, into their performance task assessments that they're creating for the capstone, that one of our district pieces. So that's the idea. And then having the teachers even circle back and do some reflection a little later in the year about how things went, and how that impacted their curriculum. So we're very excited. We're launching in just a couple of weeks here, with actually Dr. Kim participating with our wonderful partner eCadence. But I'd like our teachers to not think about what particular business we're taking them to, but thinking about those transferable skills. Like because almost every employer will say, I'd really hire on they'll say soft skills, and we call them employability skills, the 5 C's, 21st century skills: communication, collaboration, critical thinking. Those are the things that employers look for. And they can train the students or train their employees typically on the technical pieces, depending on the profession, of course. But so we're really excited to get our teachers out there and see what kind of results we get from that.
Well, I can't believe I get to be a part of that first group. Thank you so much for that invitation. And I can't wait to learn so much, because even as teachers, we're always thinking, how can I prepare kids for the future? But if we don't know what the workforce is like, how can we be preparing them for that? And Scott, I know you spent so many years in the workforce before coming into education. And I think a lot of us need that refresher to kind of remind us so that we can be in the classroom redesigning and continually updating our curriculum to be relevant to the workforce today, especially the very powerhouse companies that you have with connections that you have. So thank you once again, Scott, so much for joining me on the Ed Family YouTube channel. Once again, this place is really helping students to find out what they're good at in school and then doing something good with it now and also later. So Scott, thank you so much.
Yeah, absolutely. My pleasure.